Interval training and short sprints of work of task execution is the key and the working model for a high growth mindset. Yes, presenting before you a working model and an established way of how we can build our mindset to a level which has high growth, high endurance, and similarly much more achievement of tasks in a given span of time. Let's go back to the sciences of neurology and physiology. For any endurance training, maybe for a 5 kilometer run or a 10 kilometer run or a half marathon or a marathon, we are always whenever we go for a training, it is always recommended that we go through interval training or tempo runs, that is running sprint for 1 minute and then take a 30 seconds rest. Similarly, that is progressively increased to a duration of 10 minutes or 15 minutes of peaceful running or joyful running, and followed by a 5 minute rest followed by a 1 minute sprint. So this is where the concept of interval training comes into the place. Okay. Similarly, you may have come across a lot of studies of Pomodoro technique and its efficiency. Yes, it is. But today, a strange problem has been observed by many scientists, and it's also there in a lot of research papers. Whatever I'm presenting to you is a study of a lot of research papers and articles and a lot of forums. The problem that is mentioned is the retention time. We are lacking the ability to sit tight for 1 hour precisely and do something and get done with it. For example, students are lacking the patience to sit for studying for 1 hour continuously and study for 1 hour without any distraction. The same goes for working professionals. Maybe it is the urge to scroll, or maybe the urge to get back to the social media, or maybe the urge to have a constant update about the news feed. Correct? Now, let's focus on how this model can work in our personal lives. Rest and slowing down increases our acceleration ability for the task execution and the performance. This is a proven fact, right? Let's go for an example. Let's start a practice of 1 or 2 weeks, and I can vouch for it. I have tried this and it has worked for me. Execute a model where there is a task-based execution. For example, let's say I have a task to study 1 chapter, maybe of any subject, or working professionals have a presentation to make or a couple of things to make. Break down into the task. Forget about time. Break it into a task. Sit down constantly until you finish a particular task. Until the task is over, do not get up, come what may, except for natural emergencies or any kind of contingencies that may arise, right? And slowly with this, you will see that you will not need the urge to have a constant update about the news feed. You will not look back to your distractions. You will not look back to your notifications. Yes, when you go for this task-based execution method, or it may be a time-based execution method, for example, for 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes, sit tight. Just sit tight without your phone and do the task. Maybe you're studying for a 1 hour. Just scribble if you cannot retain, because if I'm not wrong, the maximum reading capacity in a constant lookout is 15 to 30 minutes, maximum 15 to 17 minutes, and then you need some breather. So for that, sit like that for 1.5 hours and then take a 30 minutes break. The 30-minute break can be anything. You may not need anything. You may not look for constant update. Try for resting. Try to take a power nap, and then you see the efficiency, how it goes up. Okay. Remember, whatever breaks you are taking, whatever the breaks or any kind of getaways you're doing, it should be output based. If you're reading something, if you're scrolling something, that is input. Input will always have some sort of brain fatigue, a brain fog, a fatigue that will come, because that is like overloading the brain with a lot of information. So whenever you're taking a break, I repeat this, whenever you're taking a break, try to do some output based task. Now, what comes under the output based task? Maybe, just taking a run or just playing some shots of cricket. That's what I do. Or take a nap, power nap, or listening to a music, upbeat music kind of a thing, or anything that calms you down, and sketching. All these comes under the category of, output based work. Or maybe conversing, talk. Chatting is also okay. You feel good, right? So that is a different thing. Okay. Now, one of the other things that I have observed, I have started this lately from the last 2 weeks. Whenever I return from my office after a shift of maybe 12 hours or 8 hours, as and when the shift is, I try to rest for around 15-20 minutes just in the way I am, with the kind of get up, because I'm mentally already exhausted from the day's work, and I have good amount of tasks to be done, maybe creation of podcasts, creation of videos, a creation of content or my own personal work, upskilling, whatever. But there's a good amount of tasks that is left. Earlier I used to slog, but now I've seen the changes. I'll take a rest. I'll show the video after this where I rest in the chair in the same setup and I sleep for 15-20 minutes or 30 minutes. Just rest, lie down, not checking any kind of notifications, just lying down, and I keep my bag aside. And this has worked wonders for me. I get up recharged, then I go for my grooming activities, maybe a shower or something, and after that I get back to my own work. Maybe I have some food and then I do some tasks. Let's say if I have 1 or 2 hours left, I prefer to revise something what I've done in the day which needs revision, or I'll prepare a task which needs more information, like maybe study something or maybe do some upskilling course at the same time, and then go back to bed. Okay, this progress is maybe 5% or maybe 10%, but this 5 to 10% on a consistent basis over a number of days, over a number of weeks, over a number of months is something that is very fruitful and is a compounded ability. So do not ignore this factor. Life is all about experimenting and learning. So please experiment this and see how it works. I'm more than happy to learn from you. It's always a good community of discussion and healthy discussions. Let me post a video for you now. Jai Hind. So as I was explaining about the rest video, okay, so this is about it. So let's say I'm coming from my office and this is the place where I, open my shoes and everything, and get little sorted, okay, like. So what I do, I have kept this chair over here, okay, and this is like a chair where I keep my backpack. I just go like this, kind of a thing, and push back and just take some rest like this. Don't take out my phone, I don't touch anything else, just purely rest like this in an extended way and remain like this for 15 to 20 minutes. I have seen notable differences out of this. Trust me, I have seen the differences and I can vouch for it. After 30 minutes of rest, I feel literally more energetic, recharged. It's like there is an exhaustion momentum that after returning from the workplace, okay, and I continue the momentum of exhaustion, take a little bit rest, so that helps to deplete the curve, and now I'm ready for the next particular task, maybe like taking the shower or any kind of grooming thing depending upon the times and all that, and then like maybe either order food or cook by yourself, and after that then it becomes something that I'm ready for the next task. If you note, if you're tired throughout the entire day, okay, and if you directly jump on eating the food, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't happen so enthusiastically, and after you take the shower and then if you go for your dinner, that was the best part. And that is again a traditions from the parents' generation and grandparents' generation, that after taking the shower we used to take our food, and this makes the real logic for that. And for the sake of this matter, if you're returning from a workplace or if you're just studying for 2, 3, 4 hours, try to take this kind of power nap. Don't go to the bed. Take this kind of power nap. There are a lot of tracks around in the internet of how to take the power nap, guided meditations or anything like that. The best thing is to do nothing, like sit like this, take a rest, automatically you will fall asleep for a while, and then because I fall asleep like that and for 25 minutes I'm then good. After that I go for my next task. If there is a revision that is required or if there is a study that is required, I'll do that, and it keeps me at a higher efficiency and energy level. I can vouch for that, and many times even after my work I have taken live sessions, so people who are there in my Instagram, they can relate to it, okay, and that's about it. Subsequently, let's switch to the next part of the video. So as you have seen the video of the kind of rest that I do, and it has created some role, it has actually helped me in getting more efficiency across the further day of my, the entire duration, whatever is left. I prefer to keep my phone away for a moment of time, and maybe just before I go to the bed, do some reading work from the hard copy or something, and then take a snap, or maybe like a chat. Chatting is something, yes, I do. I'll admit that honestly. I prefer to chat and have a conversation with my friends and before I go to the bed, right? One more thing that I wanted to share is every day, even if your progress is 1%, please track it down. This is something that I do, again, this is a diary, and this is again not a promotional video. First of all, it's not a this is a first disclaimer. It's not a disclaimer thing. that this is not a promotional video, but yeah, I'm showing that what kind of diary and progress tracker I keep. So let's say if it's for January 1st, okay, now this is the kind of division like work task. Work task is referring to what are the professional tasks that I have at my workplace or any kind of upskilling methods that I'm trying to do. Okay, then there's a personal task. So similarly, it is not necessary that we have this kind of diary. The only thing matters is, you know, what you are doing for yourself. Okay, so you can do it in the Microsoft Word. If you do not have a paper, you can just keep it in your phone. There is a Google Notes section, Google Sheets, Google Notes. There's an app called Keep, K-E-E-P. Okay, if you download from Play Store, these are all Google apps. You can, you know, have the extension in the Gmail. You can see the extension in the Gmail. Google Sheets is there. Google Word, this Excel sheet, Word file is there. You can keep the notes over there, right? And this is the best part of any kind of task execution, progress tracking. 1% of progress over a consistent period of time, over a large period of time, will transform you. That is the transformation that we should be looking into, not the kind of transformation that you expect happening every single day. Okay, so for an ideal transformation, you have to give some time. And in this course, it may be possible that we may miss out on the goals. For example, people who are preparing for a particular examination, or people who are preparing for any particular job interview of a particular role. Okay, we may miss out on certain things. We may not be able to achieve that, but it is not something that we will have a regrets, because we have put in efforts. Now, where you have put in efforts, there is a transformation that goes inside. Okay, so while it has built you of something, it may not have given you the desired result, but it is not something that has gone in vain. Okay, now I'll share you something, one more thing. There's content creation topics. Okay, so whatever the content I create, I try to, you know, make a note out of it. You know, like what are the podcast topics of suggestions that I have been given from people who are in my Instagram community, or anybody through mails and article writing and all that. Okay, so this is something, it has also helped me in this field. You know, like taking a feedback from you, understanding what you need, understanding the problems, and make a content with respect to a personal experience that I have tried, or something that I've read and I have a hope that it may work, right? Now with this, I will say that yes, please feel free to, you know, give any sort of suggestions or any sort of ideas that you might have done in your own field for your efficiency, and I'll be more than happy to discuss or share about it. I do come live in Instagram at times, and most of the content is there in Instagram and Spotify podcasts, and it's always a learning phase of life. It is important that we push ourselves every day, because that is the only way where you will be adapting to the growing changes, and change is something that is very constant. And most importantly, it is very important to give back to the society. So whatever you are doing through right now, you will be able to guide to someone who is new to this particular field. So it doesn't matter who does it, it doesn't matter who gets the benefit out of it, but please ensure that you give back something to the community, something to the surroundings that you have, maybe for your animals, maybe for the family members, the society in general. Try to look around, make observations, be mindful, and these all things come from mindfulness, you know, understanding about the society, what are the things that can be done better, and then bridging a solution towards it. So it is always important that we give back to the society. It is always very important that we have the motto of service before self, all walks of your life, right? And signing off from this vlog is totally based on educational content and learning and sharing experiences from both sides. Thank you for being a part of the video for this length, and I wish you sincerely all the best wishes for your future, and most importantly, sincere prayers for you and your family members. COVID is on the high. Please take the precautions of your mask. Good. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Good luck.